me, I am very much for, I don't care what your political background is. I care what your words are, what your actions are, and what your beliefs are. Do you actually believe in fucking, let's make it super basic? Do you believe that women shouldn't die in childbirth? And do you believe that, hey, a woman should be able to decide, do I have a baby right now or do I not have a baby? That to me is pretty like clear and direct. I'm going to tell you how to live your life or I'm going to let you live your life. What do you believe? Because if you're a person that believes, I'm going to tell you how to live your life, fuck off, you're not my mom, you're not my parent, I don't need to like mess with you, right? I break all of these things down to like their core nugget, get personalities out of it and all those things, because personality is subjective, right? The way that somebody walks, the way that somebody talks, as far as like their inflections and things like that,
Mm,
that's a personal preference. What do you believe?
mhm,
What do you believe? Because that's the shit that you're going to
yeah.
repeatedly put effort behind and support. So, what is that? Because
Okay,
that's what
okay,
I need
okay.
to know.
I think I think this is going to be a pretty interesting conversation
Let's go.
going forward. I'm just going to roll into it. Actually, this whole entire conversation can actually roll into this.
Mm-hmm.
I had this thought about what exactly is this thing that we call a good person.
Okay.
So basically, the question is, what is a good person, or what do we consider a good person? First, I want to go back to something you said about. Dang, you said we lost. Dang, I forgot the two words you said, but I think one wasn't mentioned, and with it was intentions. Even with that's what it is. I think you said your words and your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Your words and your actions. But I think something more goes deeper than just your words and your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Your intentions behind those actions and
Mm-hmm.
or words.
Yep. For sure.
I always like to go to this character because I think I just like going to this character,
Mm-hmm.
Nino Brown. I just like going to him.
Low down Nino Brown. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
just one of the baddest characters in movie history.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be about a real guy, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
anywho, digressing. Nino Brown, known killer, known drug dealer, known evil throughout the city. But Nino Brown be giving out Christmas presents to the kids, giving out money. Thanksgiving come around, holidays, period. Nino Brown is doing what we call good deeds. Now, those intentions of these good deeds, does that make it a good deed now? I'm not I'm,
Go ahead.
I'm not wishing harm to Trump. I'm or
That's
any
not what you
or
said
any of
earlier,
his
but
followers.
okay.
No. I didn't say I wish.
Uh-huh.
I didn't say I wish. I said
That's
I
true. That's true.
thought. I
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
thoughts are
You
not
right.
wish.
You all right. You all right. You all right.
But thoughts can become what we call this thing called manifestation.
Listen, be careful what you manifest, y'all.
But
But yeah,
again,
yeah.
but again, that being said, I may thought death, but not wishing.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm a rather death than harm. I'm not a freaking
It's still free to think.
yeah, exactly. Hey, I think death on you, not wishing death on you. And I most definitely wouldn't wish harm on you because I don't want to torture anybody because that's not my character. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. To get it over with, I
Mm-hmm.
ain't gotta do it.
Right. Right.
But yes, going back to this I thought about having you on here when the last episode you were on, the women
Mm-hmm.
episode,
Mm-hmm.
and you had mentioned your mom
Mm-hmm.
was a insurance person.
Yeah, she worked for John Hancock Insurance. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you also said at one point was thinking about being a lawyer, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lawyer, but then you also said like, but I didn't want to become the person that I would have to become, which is not me,
Mm-hmm.
to be this this type of
Yeah.
person in the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So does being a good person, or what we perceive what a good person is it good people in the world, or it's just people surviving?
I love this question. I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Because I think it's a real good one that a lot of people should reflect on, right? And what I mean by that is, so to go back to the story that I was saying about, you know, when I was in probably eighth grade, I participated in mock trial, fell in love with it, and I was like, I want to be a lawyer. This is what I want to do. I want to do the work of getting justice for people, right? Taking the bad people who are evil, who do bad things, bringing them to justice, to be able to bring some kind of closure to people who are harmed by others being just intentionally evil. I love that idea all the way through high school. And then as I really started honing in on, okay, what does it take to go to law school? What are the different kinds of ways to practice law and things like that? I had a revelation because my dad worked in GE, aircraft engines. He was a blue collar dude. My dad was not college educated. My dad was not high school educated, but he worked hard, made something of himself, and was able to provide for his family. And he got injured on the job and had to fight for a workman's comp. He had two discs that were broken in his back, one that was herniated. He was laid up for many years. And I watched him and our family have to fight for years through lawyers, through court systems of just trying to get him as a union guy the money that he was owed for GE to heal himself. And I recognized that, in order to be a successful lawyer, which in my mind, the way that I define successful is you make the money. That's what we joke about lawyers, right? All their billable hours and those kinds
Mm-hmm.
of things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that only applies really to folks who do corporate law. And I realized that in order to be a money making lawyer, I would have to be the kind of lawyer that was on GE side fighting against giving my dad what he was owed and
Mm-hmm.
deserved versus my dad's lawyer who was fighting to get those things. And I couldn't square myself with that because that to me was the antithesis of what I was inspired by originally to do. Again, getting justice
Mm-hmm.
for the people being harmed in evil. So I think it's really important the part that you said about our perception of what is a good person and what isn't, and the intentions behind someone's actions and their words. Because
Mm-hmm.
good and evil are so subjective, right? Like when you talk about Nino Brown, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you list off who he was a badass. Well, your perception of badass can be positive, it can be negative. But when you
Yeah.
start digging
He not
into,
devil may cry badass.
you know what
That's
I mean?
yeah.
Right? But the dude did deal in drugs, which I don't care who you are, the kind of drugs that he was dealing are the kinds that destroy your family or hurt your bodies without care. He's about making his money, getting his product out there, getting his money back in, that kind of stuff. That is not a positive action. That's an evil action. Now, is it
Mm-hmm.
balanced off by giving back to the community?
Nope.
Even if you're intense of like, hey, I'm gonna take some of this and I'm gonna give back to the community, that is absolutely, to your point, a good deed. It is a good thing to do. The intention behind it, though, is important. And was the intention behind it because I love my community, I want to do these things? Or is it partly because, hey, I know I have this guilt because I'm fucking this community over, so let me do something that lets me sleep at
Ooh,
night?
wait Oh no, I think you gave Nino an emotion. Guilty? Whoa. Are you
Listen,
feeling guilty about doing that?
listen, listen,
Whoa.
watch the movie again. Okay. Like, there's definitely some things in there. But I say all that to say, like, the intent behind it is very important. And we can't always get into people's
Mm-hmm.
minds to understand their intent. There's definitely some things that we can infer, but I also feel like whenever you're inferring things about people's actions and words and whatnot, there's absolutely a tinge of your own beliefs, values, and that you put onto that to even ask that question,
Ooh,
right?
yes, yes, yes,
And so
yes.
it's still not a clear interpretation of their intent, right? And
Mm-hmm.
people aren't always honest about their intents either. So I try to
Trump.
listen, all people, all kinds of people, definitely that dude,
We
but
talking
all
about
kinds of
Trump
people.
though. We talking about
Listen,
Trump in this
right?
episode.
Absolutely. And let's be real. Like the intent there, there's only one intent. I want to be the star. He's a huge narcissist. He doesn't want to be a leader because being a leader means that you actually take in information about the people and the stuff that you're doing and you attempt to take an entire group of people on your vision. Dude don't have no vision. He doesn't want to be a leader. He's an entertainer. He wants to be the lead actor.
Yeah, and I think also what comes with being a leader is the having compassion to care about
Absolutely.
other people,
Absolutely.
not necessarily caring about other people, but the
Mhm.
compassion behind the care of other people.
The capacity to do even that, right? And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
when it comes down to like, is there such a thing as a good person? Are we good people? Are there good people out there? How do we define good? What does that look like? I absolutely have an example of that in my family that I can point to because it's the model that I try really hard to bring myself up to because I have and not technically she's my cousin and I would put her up in the dictionary as the definition of a good person. And what I mean by that is she is the type of person that the entirety of her life, and she is well into her 70s now, that is about caring. Everything that she does starts from I care about person in front of me that I'm working with, that I'm supporting, or whatever. I want you to have the best experience you can have, to heal, to have support, those kinds of things. So, what can I do out of my pocket, out of my kitchen, out of my home, take you where you need to go to help you with those things? That's where she starts the entirety of her life as an action from. She is 100% a good person because she is grounded in I care for people, whether you're related to me or not. She worked in the healthcare system as a risk assessment person, and she worked the system all the time to help the people in her care to the best of her ability, not to the best of what the policy said she should do at the hospital, right? And
Hmm.
and so I look at her and go, oh, I absolutely have a definition of what a good person is. And I ascribe to be that. I am nowhere near as good of a person as she is. She has opened up her home to people who were kicked out by other people because they were going to through problems, put people into programs out of her own pocket, cooked food, volunteered at food
Ooh,
pantries. Like,
okay.
again, actions and the intent behind it is she goes, I care about people. I love people. Whether I know you or I don't, I love you and I want good things for you. So if I can do something to help you have good things, what does it cost me to do that? Maybe a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of food, but I'm blessed with the things of I have the money to do this. So if you need a meal, my pantry's full. My kids are grown. It's me and my husband. Come over. I can cook you a meal. It costs me nothing. Let's have conversation. Oh, you're a little bit short on your rent this month? Guess what? I'm retired. I have the little extra. Here you go. She operates from a place of something that I wish more of us did. She leads with caring and empathy. It's why I try so
Mm.
hard to be empathetic. I can't say that I'm a caring person. There's a whole lot of people I don't care about. That doesn't mean
Trump.
that I don't have empathy for. It's not him, but you know what I mean?
Absolutely, but
Right?
absolutely,
And
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
I I would like to be a good person. I try to operate in a way of from a positive place first, from an empathy place first, from a place of like, hey, can I be helpful? Because at the end of the day, I want the majority of people like my aunt to be happy. I feel like we all deserve for making it onto the fucking planet the opportunity to find happiness in whatever shape and forms those things take. We should have the opportunity. If what brings you happiness is you want to be an artist, you should have the opportunity to pursue being an artist. You
Mm-hmm.
should
Mm-hmm.
have tools available. You should have learning available. You should have travel available so you can experience art in different places, museums, all those beautiful things. If your thing that makes you
Mm-hmm.
happy is you want to be a baker, well, then, bitch, here's some flour, right? We have the tools for you to do those things. You should